In the online-only setup for this tutorial series, the only tool you really need is Google Colab, as it allows you to view, modify, and execute the code samples in all of the provided notebooks. However, we also give instructions for using RStudio Cloud because unlike Google Colab and Jupyter Notebook, RStudio Cloud is an integrated development environment, which means that it includes tools to help you not only create projects, but also debug and manage them as well. We will actually have more on getting started with RStudio Cloud in another video, but for the remainder of this video, we're going to talk about how to get started with Google Colab. Now, if you were to go directly to the Google Colab website, which is colab.research.google.com, you would find that the default language for your notebooks is Python, and there really isn't an obvious way to change it to R. Because of this, the links here in this notebook are actually to R notebooks in Google Colab. Now, this is a text cell, and we're going to cover that later. But if you double click this text cell, you'll see that in the background here, this is the address that we're using for these links. And you'll see at the end, it specifies the language as R. And as far as I know, this is the only way to specify or change the language for Google Colab. If we click the link, you should see something similar to this page. This is Google Colab, and it's running a notebook currently. This is a brand new notebook. There's no text or code currently entered into it, and it's an R notebook. Now, unfortunately, there isn't anything displayed here that tells us that, but if we go to the runtime menu, there is an option to change the runtime type. So we'll click that, and we see that the runtime type is in fact R. And here we can actually switch the runtime over to Python 3. Now, I said earlier that you can't change the runtime type if you started with a Python notebook, and that is true. So let's cancel this, and we're going to go to File and say New Notebook. And in this new notebook, there's no discernible difference between this one and the previous, except now if I go to the Runtime menu and click Change Runtime Type, you see that that option no longer exists. So I'm not sure why the interface is set up this way, but to get a native R notebook, you're going to need to use the link we've given you. And I strongly recommend that you bookmark this link, as it'll save you some time later. So to get started with the notebooks that we provided in this tutorial series, you can go to the File menu and click Upload. This will open the Upload dialog. You can then click Choose File to search your local file system for those notebooks, or you can do as I'm going to do and simply drag the notebook into this dashed area. This is actually going to upload the notebook and then immediately open it for us. So with that, we're now ready to use the notebook in Google Colab. In a later video, we'll not only discuss using Google Colab for the notebooks in this series, but also how you can use this interface to create and modify your own notebooks.